Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, whoever is watching and wherever you are. Welcome to Ricky VER TV. Please like, subscribe, hit the bell thingy so you can be informed when we're on next. First, I'd like to say thank you very much to Simon and Kev for doing a show last week when I wouldn't say indisposed, it was my daughter's birthday. So it was, I really appreciate that. And I think I'm kind of glad that I wasn't on the show because I was a little bit angry.
yeah, we were exasperated as well. We really couldn't figure out what went wrong. Really, we couldn't really pinpoint anything that, apart from a general crapness, that went wrong. Really, did you watch a game?
Yes, I did. Yeah, and yeah. What can I say about it? It was. I don't think anyone really played well. Every time Fulham went forward, they looked like they were going to score.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Fulham just did the standard thing, which is what we should have done. If we'd have done our standard normal day at the office kind of job to even our average ability, then we would have won. And that's what Fulham did. And it's weird because normally in the past we can point to, I don't know, a couple of mistakes that, singled out, the turning points in the game and stuff like that. There wasn't anything like that. It was just, I think for me, in my opinion, what was wrong was the tempo. I said before about the tempo and everything. The way we play football and when we do it well is because we do it to a higher tempo than they do. The passing through and everything and the quick counter attacks. It's all about tempo, and they were just one gear above us in terms of tempo. So they got to every ball first. They got to every second ball first, and they, you could argue obviously for two of their goals that if that was Mickey van der Ven instead of Dragusin, his pace and speed would have blocked the shot and stuff like that. But Dragusin can do that. He's not slow. Everybody was just slow. That's the thing.
Yeah. I think it was kind of unfair that a lot of people were blaming Dragusin. As you say, Mickey van der Ven probably would have. He would have charged out for the first one, obviously.
Yeah.
And but we also have to understand that he's a little bit of a freak of nature, really, isn't
he? Yeah.
With that speed. So
he's the fastest in the Premier League. So it's a super weapon.
Yes. And as backup, I think Dragusin will be decent. We still have to remember he's 22 years old, and that was his first full Premiership game. A lot of people were saying he shouldn't have played on the left-hand side of the centre-back pairing. Do you think Romero would have been any better on the left?
No, I think with the previous game, Dragusin, when he came on at just after half-time, I think it was, and played actually the majority of the game when he came on as sub, because obviously you got to take into account the extra injury time or what have you. He did well. He made a mistake in that game, but for me, it's not about players making mistakes or preventing them. It's about what they do to make up for that, and he made up for it. He blocked the cross and everything that he made a mistake for. So he is more than capable of being there. He showed that in that game that he came on as sub. Which is good because he had 5 minutes notice to come on the pitch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He spent half time warming up. So in that game, so it was again. I think he did okay, just the same as everybody else. No, it wasn't any worse or any better than anyone else. But I think I like him in it. He's when you consider. Well, when you consider the likes of Ben Davies and everything, I think he made good cover for Ben Davies and Udogie, of course, because they, in terms of the overlapping and the cover that needs to provide, I think, he's good cover for that. I think he's all right there. I think he'll be all right. I want to say it's just a one-off that game, the Fulham game, but I think it's good. It's what we need, isn't it? We need good players like that because Ben Davies is a good backup squad player for that. in the area, and Dragusin just behind him, and they're good squad players for that. You know, in instance of Van der Ven and Udogie. So we're getting there.
Big up, Eugene. Nice to see you, mate.
Nice one, Eugene.
I know this was a little bit earlier, and I think he's not able to come on the show. I don't think he's watching either, but nice to see you. I'd also like to give a big shout out to Kev, who is treating his missus to a trip to the coast today. I hope you have a wonderful time, guys, and hope to see you next week. What I wanted to say as well was, do you think that Ben Davies would have done any better if he'd come in and played as a centre-back instead of Dragusin for the Fulham goals?
Yes, in terms of attacking, yeah, because Ben Davies is really good at, as Eugene likes to say, when we're doing that horseshoe thing, passing it around from left to right, he's got that ability, and he's shown it so many times, of all of a sudden carrying the ball forward to the halfway line and whacking out, a long distance pass, or even across the field, and making something happen. He's done it time and time and time again. I don't think Dragusin's got that just yet. Dragusin's great up to the halfway line, but I think Ben Davies has that extra thing that we needed against Fulham. We needed somebody to make something happen. We had all the tools, if you like. Let's call them tools, because they were against Fulham. We had all the tools to make that happen a bit further up the pitch. Obviously, Madders and Bentancur later on and all that. But they weren't doing it. So, yeah, I think Ben Davies coming on would have been a good shout. I don't think he's in. Was he on the bench?
I believe so, yeah.
So, I think, I know Ben Davies is obviously a lot slower than Udogie and stuff like that. And he plays a completely different way. And, of course, he's in his 30s now. So there is those things going against him. But I think he's still got a lot to contribute for the next 5 years, maybe.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. He seems he's not one of those ones you see falling out of nightclubs. And I think he's a consummate professional. He always looks fit. He's got a turn of speed. Maybe he doesn't have the speed that we need, that we have with Udogie and Porro. I don't think he's only going to get slower, but he's still a solid team player. Now, it's my opinion of him will always remain the same, that he's a solid professional that we can call on when we need him, but he's not going to take us to the extra level, and he knows that. Ange knows that. Sorry, Postecoglou, because I know he doesn't like to be called Ange. We still have to look at it, that we're how many months into the new season? How many months into this season? 8 months. He hasn't been here long enough. He's had, would you say, 1.5 transfer windows? And as everybody knows, January is notoriously difficult. But it's the signings that we have made, they do look exciting.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely changed from this boring football that we were used to for the last 3 or 4 years. And I'm still well on board the Postecoglou train. And it's going to have to, things are going to have to go seriously tits up for that to change for me. Yeah.
It's what a lot of Spurs fans, who have been here for more than 5 minutes, need to realise we're in a much better position now than we have been for years.
Yeah.
Absolutely years.
Yeah.
And, you look at the previous couple of marquee managers that we've had. Yeah, we had a good start under them and stuff. But the difference is, we play a different brand of football. It's much more exciting football. And, a lot of people are saying, we're winning games under Conte and that other twat. No. And then it petered out. But I just don't get the same feeling of petering out with Postecoglou I did with the others. And we should be grateful for what we've got. Do you know what I mean? Like, let's not forget, if it wasn't for some stuff that outside of our control and other scummy teams like Chelsea, we would have been, without those injuries, we would have been top of the league, probably cleared by about 2 points or something.
Yeah.
You know, we are in a fantastic state in terms of, you know, the on the pitch stuff. We're brilliant. You know, teams fear us now.
Yeah.
You know, and everybody's going on about, oh, Postecoglou's been sorted out. He's not going to change the way he plays. Everything, he's been sussed out and all that. So what? Everybody susses everybody out. The thing is, our system works better than most other teams, and it's unstoppable and it's unpredictable as well on the actual day because you don't know who's going to score. Look at all the different players that have scored this season. Yes, Romero's getting up there in the bloody goal scoring charts. You know, my main man, Porro. You know, he's.
I think he scored one of the goals of the season so far, isn't he? Yeah. What was that against Burnley in the FA Cup? That was.
He can do anything, man. He can do anything. You just don't know when he's going to score, when he's going to shoot, when he's going to beat players. Yeah. You know, almost every single goal we've scored, he's been integral in making that happen. Yeah. And that's just to name 2 players. Like, we're phenomenal at the minute. It's just, why can't we just, we've got this thing as Spurs fans, don't we? And I know it's ingrained in us from decades, but you know, we can't just be happy with where we're at. And we have to like look for something. Oh God, this is going to go tits up, isn't it? You know, so we haven't got this thing. Like, I'm not down with that. Let's just be happy. And you know, we're far from finished in terms of developing a team and learning and building up and getting to where we want to be, where Postecoglou wants us to be. That's exciting, man. Yeah.
Well, seeing as you've spoken about Porro and you also spoke about Udogie earlier, the inverted wingback debate. We have talked about this before. I'd like to go back to it again, though. It's great when we have our 2 first choice wingbacks there. But when we have the 2 backups there, they cannot perform that same formation. They can't do what Udogie and Porro do. And I know there's very few players in the world probably that can do. So do you think when they're not available that he should change his tactics?
Well, we do. We do. You know, when they're not, we do try and keep, when obviously we're talking about people like Royale and stuff, who for some reason loses all power in his legs when he crosses the halfway line. So yeah, that is true. I mean, when we've got them in there, the replacements in there, it doesn't work quite as well. But then we do change. We do go more through the middle. We use Maddison, we use Bentancur and stuff like that. Yeah, we've shown that in games. It might take a while. You know, it might not happen until after half time or something like that. But we are creative enough to change it and just use them as, you know, stopping the counter attack. You know, that kind of thing. Because they're good at what they do. But like you say, it's, you know, in terms of banging in 3 or 4 goals that we need, or coming back from being 1-0 down, that kind of thing. They're using those sides and using them is not gonna happen, or it's not gonna happen as often, obviously. But yeah, I think we've used, you know, going through the middle instead. It's about the individual players on the day. It's about them recognizing that. It's about Royale recognizing, actually, you know, if I go up to their penalty area, maybe I'll just stand on the halfway line and feed it into the middle, give it Matters and stuff like that. It's about recognizing that and then switching it. And again, that makes us unpredictable. But you're right. If we recognize that it's not working, that's the thing on the actual pitch. Because you know, Postecoglou is not a shouter, is he? You know, he doesn't bellow across the pitch that they need to change it, that kind of thing. No. But he does a lot of work with them in training. He knows what he's doing, so he's relying on them. Well, and I suppose Sonny as captain to switch that, you know, and to be creative.
But I think he definitely waited too long with the substitutions last Saturday. and that was a big shame.
Yeah.
Because I can't remember anyone who I thought, oh yeah, they had a decent game. Even your man Porro, even Udogi, who usually turns up. Bissouma hasn't been right for a while now. Sarr looked a bit off it. Maddison was non-existent. Johnson wasn't good enough. Son wasn't good enough. Kulusevski, I still think that we need to play him as an attacking midfielder. Central, I think he's been figured out going through going on the right hand side. Everybody knows he's going to cut inside, and they just they're able to nullify that problem. So I think Højbjerg actually played pretty well when he came on, but and Lo Celso looked okay, but it was too little, too late.
Yeah, that's the thing. Højbjerg's had the last couple of games he's come on as sub. He's looked good. I think he did a little bit of trickery in the previous game as well. Maybe that's his forte from now on, coming on as sub and just shoring up that midfield. Yeah, I think as well as that, I think Richarlison should have been put on the left hand side instead of where he was, because it's the only place where he plays well is on the left hand side there. He's quick and his passing is a lot more accurate, and it creates a lot more opportunities from that.
Because we don't want him shooting.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, unless it's gifted on a play to him in front of goal, he doesn't score. And even then, so I think if we're going to keep him, then he needs to play out on that box, that last quarter on the left hand side.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, it's difficult because we're not Postecoglou, we're not in his head. Maybe he was thinking, do you know what? Of the players that were out there before the subs, maybe he was just thinking, do you know what? You can do this. You can do it.
Yeah.
You've proven it time and time again. I'm putting the pressure on you to get it done.
Yeah.
You're staying out there until you bug your ideas. And when it obviously became too obvious, he was like, oh, fuck this, just get him off. Just maybe that's what it was. And quite rightly, because it is, when you consider, managers get sacked and all this kind of stuff. I'm not talking about Postecoglou get sacked or anything like that, but when you look historically at other teams and stuff where managers get sacked, it is because the players can't be asked on the pitch, and it's the players' fault a lot of the time. Especially like in like the championship level and stuff like that. It's not about the manager as such. And there is a massive argument for that. It's like, it's the players that need a rocket up their arse, and that the manager, new manager coming in, if it works, it's because he's put a rocket up their arse, and again, it's the players, not the manager.
Yeah. But that's the thing with, I mean, Conte and Mourinho were famous for putting rockets up people's arses. I don't think that really tends to work anymore. No,
well, it does for a limited amount of time when they first come in. That's what creates the new manager bounce, and it worked for us for a few months. But it's not long term. We're like the other end of the spectrum from that now. We've got a long term manager who's building long term and everything. He's not here just to do press conferences and make it all about himself and throw players under the bus and everything.
Yeah.
And he pushes back on, idiot journalists and stuff like that. And he's perfect for what we want.
Yeah.
He's the second most perfect person in the Spurs setup.
Pedro! Sorry. No, I think that's the way that he talks is brilliant, because players know that they can go out and try things, and they won't be thrown to the lions if they make a mistake. That's what I ask people to do. You go out and you try things. If you make a mistake, you learn from it. That's probably not the greatest thing that Mr. Levy wants to hear, because he wants Champions League, and so mistakes are not.
Yeah,
but mistakes are not good. But our players have made mistakes this year, and we're still 5th place, and it looks like 5th place will be good enough for Champions League this year. Me, myself, personally, I'd like to see us go into the Europa League just because I know this has been a cliche for so long. You play the youngsters, and it would be nice to have the youngsters get a little bit of experience in well, maybe not big game, but in hostile environments. You know, you go to some places, say we get a Polish team or we get someone from Serbia or something like that, where their fans are absolute nutcases, and they stamp and they sing for 90 minutes. They make it as hostile as possible for the away team, and I think that is a good learning curve for younger players. And also, you know, it will show the mettle of the older players as well. It's like that old another cliche. Can you do it on a wet Tuesday night at Stoke City?
Yeah.
Whose fans are complete nutters, but that's probably because I think they're all orcs up there or something, aren't they? It's like Mordor.
So. Yeah, well, Stoke are not in a good place at the minute, but
no, they're not. No, it's true.
But yeah, you're right. It's and you know, the advantage of that is putting them in environments like that, especially early on in Europa League games and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's for the youngsters, it gets them used to big occasions, and then when it comes to when it matters, like from the FA Cup final, that kind of thing, and they won't be as overawed as they would normally be about a big situation. And you know, if they perform well and you're Postecoglou and it comes further down the line and you are in a cup final, you feel comfortable bringing on, you know, 19, 20-year-old go as a sub with half an hour to go, you know, that kind of thing, which is a great place to be, isn't it? Like, blimey, just like you'd feel so comfortable as a manager, wouldn't you? Just like somebody's having an off day, like really experienced player, and you can just, or if everybody's just knackered, you can just normally you being on like a youngster, and you just think, oh God, you just no idea what they're going to do and how they're going to make a mistake and all that kind of stuff. But if they've been bedded in already, you just think, oh yeah, I can tell him what I want him to do, and I know he's going to do it, despite, you know, 60,000 fans baying for blood and all that. Yeah, it's a good, really good point. In terms of that, I mean, you know, I don't care as long as about the Premier League, because you don't get anything for winning the Premier League, but as long as we finish above Arsenal, that's fine for me. And I'm still in the Postecoglou camp of we're just going to keep going and aiming for the top spot and then see where we end up. You know, we're building something here, and it's not about, you know, winning everything and loads of trophies in the first season. It's about, you know, being better than everybody else, and that takes a lot of building and a lot of time. More than, you know, a season or half season and that kind of stuff. So, but try telling some Spurs fans that, the minority of Spurs fans that, and it's horrible, isn't it? A minority of Spurs fans are usually just the idiots. They're the loudest, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's a shame.
Yeah, they are. No, I completely agree. And some, I don't know. It's funny because I used to think that it was always the newer fans who'd seen us come into the Champions League and thought, but nowadays it actually seems to be the older generation who they seem to want us to lose so they can moan about something. And I'm not saying this is all of them. And it's, you know, you got fans like Kev. I don't want to call him the older generation, but, you know, he's in his 60s. He's followed Tottenham all over bloody Europe, and but he's still positive. He's still one of those who, yeah, okay, it's gonna, you know, I still think we can do this. Whereas some of them are like, oh yeah, well, I remember in the 80s, and yeah, okay. We did pretty well in the 80s, but bloody hell, we bottled a lot in the 80s as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I think that's almost a different thing, isn't it? Because you got to remember when you look at a generation above us, you know, the 50s and 60s and stuff like that, especially now, they've been treated like shit by Spurs as a club. You know, especially now with the new ticketing thing. You know, they have been treated like crap. it's unbelievable what Levy's doing to them. So I don't blame them. I think they're coming from that point of view. It's like it's almost like this season, in terms of ticket pricing and how they've been treated as senior citizens and lifelong fans, and how lifelong fans have been treated like crap. So yeah, I don't blame them. I don't think it's the majority. I don't think it's all of them, and that's the trick, isn't it? It's especially with the media, like the general media, they love to latch on and make it a newsworthy clickbait thing and say that all Spurs fans think like that, and they don't. We're literally talking 1 in 10,000 or 1 in 20,000 or something. That things like that is my opinion anyway. And the majority of Spurs fans think like we do, and it's we go with the roller coaster. We know it's a roller coaster. It's especially ours, and we're on the up at the minute, and we've got to keep remembering that.
Yeah.
So yeah, big up Eugene.
Yeah, big up Eugene. Breaking your fast at the moment. Enjoy. Take care.
Good. I'm glad you're not on, actually, Eugene. I don't want to see you stuffing your face.
Right, let's move on to see how the guys got on during the international weekend. Which, God, I'm bored. I have to say it was good yesterday though. My second team, Barnet, beat Dorking Wanderers 6-0. Chesterfield have guaranteed promotion back to the Football League. Barnet are second at the moment with 4 points over Bromley, which with I think 6 games to go. So being second means that you go in the National League playoff system is completely alien to me. But I think it's 6 and 5 play each other. And then I think Barnet go in at sort of the semi-final level. And then obviously the final is at Wembley, which would be bloody amazing for those players to experience that. But anyway, yeah. Wrexham won. Yeah. Fuck Wrexham. Sorry. this whole media circus around them. I'm not a big fan of them. I prefer Notts County, but that's because I was in university in Nottingham and didn't really like Forest and met a few decent Notts County fans, and so I'm glad to see them in the league again. So, but let's go on to the international news. So yesterday for England, Maddison didn't play. Did you watch the game?
No, it's a friendly. It's just there's no reason to watch it, really.
Fair enough. No, I just thought you might because it's Brazil and might be a bit special, but I didn't either. So Thursday, Johnson played 73 minutes for Wales when they beat Finland in the National League playoff, I believe. Or I watched that one. Or is it the European Championship League or the Europa League? The Nations League.
No, yes, right. Yeah, I watched the highlights of that one. I mean, it's a tapping. That's the thing. Right? Yeah. He also should have scored earlier on and didn't. It worries me at the minute, Johnson. I always worry when he's in our starting lineup. I don't know what he's going to come up with. Historically, he's better off coming on as a sub. Does really well, but he's really is the definition of hit and miss at the minute.
Yeah,
for us, and it looks like for Wales. It's like unless you, I don't want to say, but unless you gift him it on a plate like they did, then does he score? Don't know.
Eugene says England lost. I watched it. Typical Southgate bullshit. Yeah, I am still.
Well, Kane wasn't playing, so.
Yeah, no, he's out injured apparently. He's out until April, which is not going to help Bayern Munich try and retain their title, is it? Especially seeing as Leverkusen are, I think, 6 points clear. Which, it's. it's kind of gutting for him. I know a lot of people are saying, fuck off. Yeah, you left Tottenham to go and win trophies and you're not going to do it. I feel sorry for the guy. He's definitely one of the best players I've ever seen in a Spurs shirt. And he stuck with us for so many years when he could have moved elsewhere. And now I have a feeling he was kind of pushed because he wouldn't sign a new contract and leave. He's not missing out on 100 million, is he? So I'll always support Harry Kane. I do find it a little bit amusing, but that's just because Bayern Munich, they was complete twats during the whole transfer rumours thing. Saying, oh yeah, he will join us. We are the best team in the world. Yeah. Yeah. So that's my hair flick impression.
There's a reference for all you kids out there.
Good moaning.
Okay, kids, go on Google and type in allow, right? It's a TV series. Okay. It's I don't know if it's still
extremely attractive women in
it. Judge for yourselves whether it's funny still or not. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I find it amusing just from the irony of the whole situation as a general whole. That Kane's gone there to win trophies, and then ironically doesn't win any. Some of them, Eugene, we used to have a minimum of 3 players in England, and now we have more players in Wales. No, I think was it in the squad? I think we had a few players in there, obviously, didn't we? So
no, I don't think we did. I think we had Maddison, and that was it.
Maddison, yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, do you know, at this stage of our Premier League season, it's a good thing. I didn't want them to play a friendly. We're risking every time they go out to play for the bloody national teams. We're risking injuries.
Yeah.
So I'm quite happy with that.
Yeah.
And the England women team are much better, much more entertaining, and much better in terms of achievements and everything. Anyway, so anyway, so yeah, with Kane, it's interesting. I don't know. I'm the same as you. I support him because he's done so much for us, and it's not like we owe him or anything, but I suppose we do in a kind of metaphorical sense. But he's done so much for us, and like you say, he could have buggered off any time and gone to Man United or whatever, but he didn't because of the type of person he is, and we shouldn't be laughing at him or anything. It's a funny situation, and I think when he retires he'll laugh at it himself, but yeah, we've got to support our legends because he is a living legend. I think we've been privileged to see him play for us in our lifetime. I'm only 18, so I didn't see the likes of Jimmy Greaves play or anything like that. Shut up.
You didn't see much of Harry Kane's career either. So,
so I think we've been privileged, and we should always support him forevermore, no matter what he does, unless obviously he goes that over the road to the scum. So
yeah, I don't think you do that. Well,
would you have him back next season if he wanted to come back?
I'm not sure about that because towards the end of his tenure, it was a bit like, well, no, I wouldn't say towards the end. The last 3 or 4 years, he seemed to be getting a lot more selfish, I thought. Although then again, what am I talking about? He provided loads of assists for the Heung-min Song. So no, I'm talking out my arse.
If anything, he got deeper, didn't he?
Yeah. So yeah, no, I am. I don't know what I'm going on about there, but yeah, I think we should be signing younger players, as we have been, and who knows what's going to happen with Son, because he's what's he, 32, 33 now? So I'm not sure how much longer he has left. I think his fitness levels are pretty peak, and he'll probably be able to play till he's 38 or whatever, but still not at Premiership level. Well, they're saying that, you know, Pepe's still playing for, who was it, Sporting Lisbon or Porto or whatever at 40 and for Portugal.
Mm.
So who knows? The steroids you can get these days, man, they're amazing.
Yeah, I don't think, as much as I love Kane, I don't think he would fit into the system. He wouldn't fit in. You know, we don't play that way anymore. We play completely differently. I don't think he'd fit in. With Son, I think he's got at least another 5 years in him with us, hopefully with us. Yeah. Because he's always got that burst from the halfway line, at least, through on goal. And even when he's been playing off form, he still scores, and he's still got an eye for goal, and he's more accurate he's more able to score in that one-on-one situation with the keeper than anybody else at the minute. So I think he'll always have that as well.
Yeah. Did he play? Did they have international games? South Korea. Oh yes, they drew with Thailand, didn't they? Yeah, he scored.
He scored. Yeah, so he scored. Yeah.
I don't know what. I mean, seriously. Obviously, my brother spends a lot of time in Thailand. He has a wife and 2 kids over there, and their football team is. Yeah, I always thought South Korea were like the powerhouse of Asia, and they seem to have gone down massively. They've got Son, and they've got that Kang guy, and then I think there's one other bloke, the centre back who plays for, is it Bayern Munich or something like that? The rest of them just seem to be,
they're terrible.
Yeah, that's shocking, and it must be terrible for him to play. You know, to be used to playing with maybe not world-class players, but definitely brilliant players in the league, and then go there and you're running around with a bunch of I'm not saying that. Well, they're still professional football players, aren't they? But
well, that's the thing with Son, the way his personality. Let's not forget, after the Fulham game, and not for the first time, he's very vocal about how bad we were and how it's not good enough and everything like that. Yeah. Not the first time he's done that, and hopefully he's doing the same with the South Korea team. I'd like to think he is. You know, he's treated. You can never understate how revered he is in Asia as a whole, let alone South Korea. And I think he's not that he would, but if he could turn around and say, "I want the manager gone," and the manager would be gone. Simple as that. Like, he's God out there. So. Hopefully he's opening his mouth and saying stuff, and hopefully it'll come to a head, and he'll be instrumental in getting them sorted. Because he's very much a confidence player, isn't he? You know, if South Korea are doing well, he does well for us, and vice versa. Yeah. So he's very much like that. So we need South Korea to do well and get better sooner rather than later, for our sake. You know, even from a selfish point of view, let alone from his point of view. I really feel for him as well, because, you know, he's got a lot of responsibility on his shoulders, and I think since he's been made captain, I think his own personal playing has gone downhill. And I think it might be because of the weight of that responsibility, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not saying he can't handle it, but I think if that's using up, you know, a part of you, you're not giving as much of that to your playing and scoring.
Yeah. Well, they sacked Klinsmann, didn't they?
Yeah.
And now they've got Hwang Sung Hong, who apparently is the caretaker boss, who is their under-23 manager. I don't know him, but I suppose it's very possible that maybe Song Heung-min would like to go into management at some point. And that wouldn't be bad. So.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it would be in terms of like the rest of your life, you'd be made, wouldn't you? Really?
Hi guys.
Here he is.
Hey, you.
Come on, I want to see what food you're eating. Come on.
Oh God.
Oh, I've just finished. I've just walked into my room. I can't do that because the food is all outside.
How are you, mate? You all
right? Just to come in and say that South Korean football, right? In the 80s, even Malaysian football was the same level as South Korean football. You know, Then the Malaysian football fell backwards due to Malaysian football issues, Southeast Asian bookies, right? And Korean, I think Korean had their golden kind of we call spell about 5 years or 7 years ago, and I guess they're going on a downhill trajectory because I don't think they have that many stars that play in Europe anymore. Because at one period of time, the South Korean squad comprised of a lot of European based stars, you see. But I think now the money is better back in South Korea. So a lot of the South Koreans are staying back home and not going overseas to play. So that's how I think the standard of the South Korean football has dropped. But you get one or two like superstars like Son, Lee Kang-in, Kim Min-jae. I mean, if you have 4 or 5 players in the squad, right, you can't carry the team to go anywhere. It's just like Spurs, when we had Harry Kane and Son, and the rest of them were more or less shit.
Yeah.
So I don't blame Son. I just blame his bad timing. You get what I'm saying? You imagine those days when we had Lee Yong Pyo, right? That generation of players, like Lee Yong Pyo, Park Ji-sung, right?
Yeah.
That generation of players, they were fantastic for Korea because they had an actual maybe 16 good players who were playing in Europe. Nowadays, you see how many Korean players are playing in Europe and how many of them are good and how many of them are at the level of Sonny and Kim Min-jae and Lee Kang-in. Not many of them anymore. So that's how the standards drop. And it's the same with the Japanese league, bro. Have you not noticed? I've noticed that the Japanese dominance in Asian football has dropped too. I think maybe because as the local league develops, right, a lot of the local players don't want to go overseas because I'm homesick. I miss my sushi. I miss my chak jae. You get what I'm saying? So
nice girls, yeah, I know.
So yeah.
Eugene, do they have what's the development like? Do they have like a decent South Korea? Do they have like decent under-21 sides and that kind of thing? Or
They used to, right? They used to have very decent under-21 side, but somehow or another it's faltered back onto the side. We used to play up until under-23s and all that, right? So, but the state of Malaysian football has improved a bit, right? It was a surprise we drew with South Korea in the Asian Cup 2-2. Which I say the Southeast Asian bookies are involved again, right? So it is what it is. So, but the thing is that Malaysian, the thing about South Korean football is that they don't have any nationalized players. They're all South Korean. But like Malaysian football now, we've got Brazilians, Argentinians, right? And then we get a lot of those. My mom and my dad. Or my grandparents were Malaysian, and actually they're either in America, Australia, or in Europe, or especially in the United Kingdom. They've all gone back to play for Malaysia because they can't play for England, right?
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, no, it's understandable.
Yeah. So, but it is what it is. But the international break, I don't know. It would be good to see Wales beat Poland, right?
Sorry.
It would be good to see Wales beat Poland and qualify for the Euros, right? That's why I wouldn't mind seeing. Yeah.
That's why.
Both Davis and Roden played 90 minutes as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The Wales team had 3 Spurs players playing. Johnson, Davis, and Roden. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
In the England squad, we only had Madison, and he was on the bench.
Richarlison didn't come on, did he?
Yeah, no, he didn't. He didn't come on either. I did a half a watch along with Mani yesterday, right? Because it was my Fajr time, my last meal before I start breaking fast. So I hopped on after that. So so the game against Brazil, England in the first half, it was intense. There was a lot of rough challenges going in and all that. It was like more serious. But when the second half came along, the changes were, when England made changes, right, it's like our levels drop. It reminds me so much of Spurs, right? And when the Brazilians made changes, their levels went up. So it is what it is.
Wow. Yeah, well,
Yeah, I'm looking at the Wales game as well, because obviously we've got players in there, but obviously it's as a country, I suppose technically we want Wales to do well.
Yeah.
So yeah, that game actually means something. Do you know what I mean? Not as opposed to these poxy friendlies that we're England.
yeah. And
That's true.
I think it's a waste of time.
Well, that's the thing. From
people
Southgate's point of view, it isn't, because obviously he gets limited time with the players as it is, so he wants to see them play actual matches and stuff.
Yeah.
But let's play matches against professional teams not behind closed doors, but in this country, or something. There's bound to be. It could be a really good economically and from a entertainment point of view for the England team to play. Well, I suppose it has to be professional, doesn't it? Because you don't want the England players injured, but maybe like a lower league team, and just because what the friendlies are for is for for Southgate to say, right, this is my formation. How does it work against a professional team? That's the whole point. And
but Simon, I've seen Southgate do this over and over again, right? But yesterday was a friendly game. I thought he would be more adventurous, right? In the end of the day, we were like playing in the back five. I was like scratching my head.
Fucking Maguire.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Yeah. No, when he took off Harry Maguire, the whole squad changed into a back five. I was saying, why is he doing that again? Right?
Was Sterling playing? Was Sterling in the squad?
No, Sterling was going to be in the squad.
Good.
Right. Saka pulled out. Kane knew he was already injured, right? He was just there for show, right? And he's gone back to Bayern Munich, right? He won't be playing the Belgium game. I was surprised. Why didn't we put on? I mean, I'm happy, right? That Madison didn't come, wasn't starting because he tried with Gallagher first, right? So I guess maybe in the next game against Belgium, right? Then maybe there'll be wholesale changes to come in to see what he can do. Hey, come on, the mistake from the goal, right, came from a Lewis Dunk header straight to Pereira, and Pereira put Vinicius through. Vinicius ran down with Hendrick on his right. He shot, Pickford saved, rebound off to Hendrick. The 17-year-old boy slotted in.
Yeah, 17 years old. I wonder how much he's going to go for in the next few years.
Oh no, he's already been signed up by Real Madrid.
Oh, has he? Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, and it's not a cheap price, right? I think Real Madrid got him for like 30 million euros or something like that for 17 euro.
Yeah, that's kind of a lot, isn't it? And he only came on the 71st minute, and he's been rated 7.2 on my web.
Yeah. He's
Okay,
got promise.
Let's move on to some of the other players who are in action. Lo Celso and Romero both scored against El Salvador, but still, they both played 70 minutes. Højbjerg played 83 minutes for Denmark versus Switzerland. I don't know what it was yesterday. I just
it was 0-0.
Yes, yeah.
I don't know what
it was yesterday. I just had a feeling that it was going to be boring. I didn't watch it, and I think I was reading a cookbook that I was given for Christmas, and seriously, and I was like, hang on a minute, it's at least 70 minutes in. I haven't heard any notifications from my phone. And it sounded
you're already planning your Christmas dinner now?
No, man, it's actually it's a Middle Eastern recipe book. So
all right,
I'm quite into that kind of cooking anyway. And I was looking at it and fucking hell, there's so much stuff that I'm going to have to go especially shop for. But it sounds nice. It looks good, really.
Yeah, really, of course it does. Nice.
Yeah. Dragusin played 90 minutes for Romania against Northern Ireland.
It drew too.
1-1.
Yeah, I drew 1-1.
Yeah, Scarlett scored a hat trick for England's under-20s.
Whoa, against?
In some, I don't know what tournament it was, but they beat Poland 5-1.
Oh, yeah, Poland, yeah.
But also some quite big news this week. But
You could say our
Simmons-
England,
sorry.
our England youth polished them off then.
Taxi! Don't like it.
Am I still here? You haven't booted me out for that. Oh, that's
As if I do that, although I might put you down here, though. Yeah, there you go. You're at the bottom now. And a little bit of interesting news. Well, maybe it's not so interesting, but Basuma's been dropped by Mali.
Yeah, he was dropped by Mali. He wasn't even called up. I think there's something going on with Bissouma, right? Even the national team doesn't pick him up. I don't know. Maybe the malaria hasn't gone off. Guys, malaria could be a very, really raw. It's truth, right? I was in Africa for 1 year. I worked in a logging company. A lot of the children, right, they will catch malaria, right, in their early ages. And if they don't pass through it, it's bye-bye. And it's sad, right? So it's some kind of immune system that you build up. And they say malaria is actually once you catch it, right, it's a lifetime kind of thing. It can come back anytime, and it will go away, and it'll come back anytime because the virus is there, right? So hiding somewhere, right, and especially when you play for Spurs, it will come out.
Or the Mali coaching team. It just depends what Spurs game they watch with Bassouma, doesn't it?
That's true.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought that they'd spend an awful lot of money on sending, the scouting team over to Europe to watch a couple. Well, then you never know.
No. They're going to watch on some dodgy stream, right? So yeah, that's why they see Bassouma.
Someone holding the aerial, like,
yeah,
don't move it.
No, I think with any country can request from the club, DVDs of games and stuff. So it just depends which one they sent them.
Yeah, they probably sent the one when he was playing for Brighton against Arsenal. So okay,
I'm glad because Bassouma needs improving, and with Højbjerg and Lo Celso and stuff, those playing almost 90 minutes, that's a good thing. It means they improve when they come on as sub for us.
The fitness levels will go up. Yeah,
I'd still like to see Lo Celso get a chance.
but I don't think Lo Celso. But I don't think Lo Celso is an Ange type of player. So
we know he's made of fiberglass, but he's still. When he's come on this season a couple of times, he's looked really good. He seems to be one of the only players who will, they'll pick up the ball and some of them will run wide, some of them will pass it back. He just wants to get forward.
Yeah, and beat his player.
Yeah.
It's a bit like the Brian Hill situation, isn't it? Because you got Brian Hill who, when he's come on, has done magical things that have resulted in goals. And then you look at those individual moments that him and Lo Celso have, and you think, well, why aren't they playing every week? And it's because the likes of Maddison and Bentancur, what they can do, I mean, obviously, regardless of the Fulham game, what they can do is they can do slightly less magical moments, but still result in goals. But they can do that for 90 minutes. You can do it for a lot longer, and they're more consistent. Whereas, Brian Hill or Celso, if you start them, they'll peter out by the 50th minute or even by half time. They won't produce, what they do recently. What
I'm impressed with Brian Hill this season is that at least when the wind blows, he doesn't fall over. That's one good thing, right? So
he's a lot harder to knock off.
I should kick you out for that one, Eugene. Okay, guys. I just wanted to have a quick chat about transfer rumours in. I don't know how new these ones are, but I've only seen them recently. First one is Archie Gray, who is playing for Leeds. He's 18 years old, and he's played 36 matches this season. Now, Leeds are flying at the top of the championship.
Mhm.
We know that the championship is not always brilliant, but 36 games at 18 years old.
No,
He
it's a
plays
good.
mainly at right back. But yeah, I think it's going to be expensive, and he has massive links to Leeds because I'm not sure if it's his uncle Eddie, and
Okay.
Eddie Gray used to be the player and a manager, and I think his dad also played for them at some point. I don't recall that.
Well, Andy.
The guy is not. Yeah, Andy Gray. Was it?
See you, Jimmy. Oh, sorry. I smash it. Right.
But don't worry. Don't worry. We'll hold Leeds to ransom for Rodon, right? So if you don't give us Archie Gray, you won't getting Rodon. That's all.
That could well be a good move there.
They're
all raving about him.
And yes, don't forget, right? Now you can come to Spurs, spend 2 years here, don't do anything, right? You still can go back to Leeds again when you're 20 years old. It doesn't matter much to us, right? So,
but I do seem to remember a certain player that we bought from Leeds who is
definitely
in my top 20 of Spurs players. A little geezer called Aaron Lennon.
Yeah, Aaron Lennon. Yeah, we got another one. Wasn't it Gareth Bale too?
No, he came from Southampton. But what was his name? Robbie Keane. We signed him from Leeds as well.
Okay.
But yeah, those seem like interesting links, and that's the kind of links that I like.
Yeah.
18-year-olds,
right? Yeah.
Bergvall as well, coming from Sweden. Everyone thinks that he's going to be the next Glenn Hoddle. I've told people maybe you might want to calm down a little bit. Yeah, he's playing in the Swedish league. Not quite. The next guy is a guy called Martin Zubimendi.
Zubimendi? Yeah. Isn't he the Spanish guy?
Yes, yeah.
Right.
I'd never heard of him. Plays for Sociedad, 25 years old.
Yeah.
28 matches this season. They're 6th in the table. But he's 26. He's been there since the youth team. And a lot of people are comparing him to Busquets.
Oh, that's a good comparison. But the truth, right, Zubimendi is not even. We are not the only team that's been linked to him, right? So
the Gooners have as well.
Yeah. So
they won't want to let him go. They won't want to, not with being 6th in the table, and obviously him being from there.
Homegrown and all that.
I'm not sure they make enough money to say no.
Yeah, the thing is that if it's a £50 million kind of deal, right?
Yes.
Would you not say no, right? So
yeah.
Right. But the only thing is that will our great chairman, Mr. Daniel Levy, put up the £50 million for a 26, 27-year-old player? That's not a question that comes in.
Well, 25 years old. No, that is a good question, and but I think that is a position that we need someone decent at, because Suma has not been performing. Well, he's not really a defensive midfielder, is he?
No.
So we need when our two inverted wingbacks bomb forward, we need someone like, don't kill me here, but during the Pochettino days, Eric Dyer to drop back into defence. Now he was brilliant.
Simon, why can't we drop? Why can't we drop again?
Long-term memory, because I cannot remember Eric Dyer being a fantastic.
CDM.
Remind us of any instances where he, was. Remind us of anything he did that would fit in today in that.
Under Pochettino, when Danny Rose and Carl Walker bombed forward, Eric Dyer would drop back from defensive midfield into centre back with Jan Vertonghen and Alderweireld, and that made us a little bit more solid. I know as he got older, he got a bit heavier. I'm not his biggest fan. I haven't been for the last few seasons, but when he was younger and when he first arrived at Spurs, I think, especially in that season where we went unbeaten at the Lane, what was it, 2016, 2017, when we probably should have won the bloody league. But anyway.
Yeah, that's the one.
He was definitely up there in our top 5-6 players.
Because I seem to remember an Eric Dyer that would, every time we go forward, and when there's a corner or a free kick, he'd be right up there, right in the penalty area, because he's just slightly taller, maybe, which is a ridiculous thing. Because if they counter attack even slightly, there's just absolutely no way he's getting back. So
did you see?
But my question is, right? Do we need an actual holding midfielder the way that we play with Ange ball, right? So that's another question. Will these players fit into that holding side? Because with Ange ball always going forward, you need an actually speed merchant, right, to cover VDV and Romero if they are not there, right, to actually pick up the loose balls that come from the back. That's why I think VDV has been overused this season, because he doesn't have an equivalent of himself, right, to support him. To do a rotation while we are playing. It's not always VDV running back chasing after the idiot that has that long ball coming over the top. You get what I'm saying, right? And so usually, if I've seen games where usually it's either Udogi that covers VDV, but when Udogi is not there, right, VDV has to do all that, charging down, and that will actually it doesn't bode well for him throughout the season doing it. He will pick up hamstring injuries along the way. We know that when you're a speed merchant, right, you lose your hammies at least once or twice a season. All right, so that's the sad part.
Yeah.
I think Basuma's that. I don't think we need a player like that, because I've seen rumours about Rafinha as well at Barcelona.
I will take Rafinha. He did quite well last night.
Yeah, I mean,
he's not defensive though, is he? He's not a
Well, that's the thing. I think Basuma can do a bit of both when he do. And the only thing is, I don't think it all depends whether Basuma settles down, and just like tries to get some consistency behind him. Because if he stays inconsistent, obviously, we need him out. You know what I mean? Which I say we just need him out. Like that's the thing that we can do, that we're good at. Getting rid of players that shouldn't be there, for fuck's sake.
Simon, but we have a long list of players that we're to get rid of before Bissouma, right? That's the sad part.
Definitely.
I think we're fine with Bissouma if he just settles down into a rhythm of consistency. Because when him and Udogi and Sarr, as that kind of like roaming trio, they completely own that midfield.
That's true.
And it frees up Maddison to step forward a bit and, produce that little bit of magic like he did with Romero's header. That's what we want Maddison for, just that most
creative.
They're giving him. And, when it works brilliantly, because obviously Maddison's all over the place as well. So...
Literally last week he was all over the place. He did fuck all.
But that's the thing, is because we didn't have that Bissouma, Sarr and thing of like them totally, owning that midfield, and then you just don't know which one of those three is going to give you the ball. So we need a Maddison to be like straight there, like, are you going to give me over there? Are you going to give me the ball? Are you going to give me the ball? And just like create something in that. Just before their penalty area, and when it works well. It's just, I think the only thing letting it down is Bissouma's inconsistency, and obviously Sarr hasn't been that great either, and I think that might be to do with his back. I'm not sure, but
But going back to talking about Maddison, there is another rumor come out, which is Morgan Gibbs-White from Wolves, 24 years old. I suppose. You guys have all seen him play on Match of the Day this season. He's looked pretty good, but I think he's going to be extremely expensive.
He's an English-born player, right?
Yeah.
I
can't believe he's only 24. I'm sure he's been around for like 30 years.
No, Morgan Gibbs-White, did he come from Arsenal?
No,
I think so, yeah.
Was he a Gooner?
Yeah, he was a Gooner, right?
Are we thinking of another player that's got a similar double-barreled name?
I think we are. That's Reece Nelson.
No,
Was
I
that
think
Maitland Niles. Was it Maitland Niles?
Niles, that's the one. Yeah.
Mm.
No, Morgan Gibbs White was Forest. Oh, of course, he doesn't play for Wolves anymore. He plays for Forest. He started off at Wolverhampton. Apologies.
Okay.
But yeah, as I said, it seems like he's been around for years. Since 2017, he's been playing for Wolverhampton. So yeah, but he's from what I've seen, he's a bit aggro, which is will fit in with Romero. And yeah, I suppose he's only really he's only really come to fore this year, or maybe it was last year as well, because he was on loan at
Forest. Is he at Forest now, or is he at Wolves now?
Yeah, no, he was on. Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, he's at Forest now. So that was last season, and 71 appearances, 9 goals.
He does strike me as a kind of player that is not reaching his potential because he's in a team that can't maximise his potential.
Yeah.
Maybe he should have stayed at Wolves, you know.
He wasn't getting the time though. So
but I heard that that South London team is looking at him too.
Sorry.
Yeah. The South London team, is looking at him too.
Oh really? Okay. Yeah. Anyway, never heard of him. Bunch of wank. Oh, sorry. Okay. Anyone else have any more transfer rumours?
The Fulham defender Adarabia.
Oh, Tosin. Yeah, Tosin. Tosin. I like Tosin. I've seen him play. Right, he's very good with his head, especially when he's defending. But I thought we were going for him last summer, but he was saying he didn't want to come to us. He wanted to move to France or something like that, Lyon or Marseille or something like that. That's why he didn't want to come to us.
Because he wants first team football.
AC Milan.
Who doesn't want first team football?
He's 26 years old. Do we really want to sign someone 26 years old? Has only had 127 games since 2020.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's on that biting point at the minute, and he's Fulham wanting to sign a new contract. So there's that negotiations. It literally all depends on that, and it's on that biting point. You know, if he doesn't, literally very soon, then he's either he's got his choice of.
Is he going to be free? Is he going to be free next season or the following season? I think he's had about 18 months on his contract, right? So I think by this summer, if he doesn't extend his contract, right, Fulham must have to sell him because he most probably be walking away on a free the following season.
Yeah.
But the thing is that does he play on the left? Is he a left centre back or right centre back? This is another question that comes in.
That is a good question. I should have a look on my app.
Yeah,
that's always
because the thing is that. To tell the truth, right, we need a cover for VDV on the left centre back side because I see Dragozin more of a right centre back kind of player that covers Romero, right? But I don't know if Tosin can be a left centre back kind of, but I still want a VDV kind of a defender, you know, another defender with the kind of speed that actually can cover all our stupid mistakes when someone lobs the ball over the midfield, right? That's the kind of defender I need, and I don't want VDV to be playing because if we're going to be in Europe next season with the cups and all that, and hopefully bloody Ange understands that we need to win a trophy, right? Go far in one of the cups, right, to show that we are serious in winning a trophy. We'll be playing up to nearly 50 to 60 games, the way I see it, right?
He's mainly played as right centre back.
Then we will overload the right centre back scenario again.
Yeah.
I think with do you know what, I can smell a Levy thing coming up with Conor Gallagher. I'm not that bothered about him. Take him or leave him, but in terms of like the whole negotiations and everything, I think it's going to be a classic Levy thing where we're just taking too long about it, and because his contract ends in season after next. So I think we'll literally just be like we'll lose out. I think.
But Simon, Chelsea has to sell a bloody whole load of players to buy new players, right, for next summer, and they're already in trouble with the PSR rules. So yeah, let's see how that goes, right? Most probably, I don't know. We're all hoping they're gonna get relegated automatically, right?
I've
Including
heard
Manchester City.
I've heard their friends in Saudi Arabia, in other words, Newcastle, are going to be helping them out. They already have started helping them out with this Lewis Hall transfer.
Oh dear.
They'll wriggle out of it. They always do.
But
has anybody heard this rumor about Conte going to Bayern Munich?
Bayern Munich. Yeah, there's I heard that too. Right, and I heard that the Bayern Munich, Conte going to Bayern Munich, and the Bayern Munich fans are they're quite okay about it, right? But the other thing is that Jens, right? I heard that Newcastle can't buy anyone until they sell someone, so they're in a bit of a quandary too. And the thing is that they're looking to offload their Bruno, the Bruno Guimaraes guy, right? Yeah, they have to offload Bruno. Yeah. They want £100 million for him. So let's see who's going to buy him, right? And the thing is that who else? If not, then most probably their striker. What's his name? Ishak. Alexander Ishak has to go. All right. So
I think he's that great.
But, yeah, I know. The rumor is the Gunners are going after him. So yeah.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Jesus isn't exactly your best record, is he? But
most probably right. Then we'll sell Richarlison to Saudi and we'll get Jesus for cheap.
God.
Yeah.
But it's better than any Nketiah, right? So
I'm not Rishi's biggest fan, but I wouldn't wish that on him.
No, but I can tell you the truth, right?
Did you say Richie or Rishi?
Richie, yeah. But guys, you should know, right? Our great businessman chairman, right, won't turn down a £60 million move for Richarlison. Don't forget that.
That's true.
Yeah. He has to iron out the books.
They think that maybe Scarlett maybe maturing enough to get a few starts as centre forward. Yeah.
I wouldn't mind giving Scarlett a chance. Don't forget, guys, we've got Alfie Devine coming back, you know, the midfield part of things, right?
And Mikey Moore and Alfie Donnelly. Yeah.
Really,
we've had this before.
Come on, guys. Mikey Moore, how old is Mikey Moore? He's 18, 17. He's too young.
No, he's 16.
Yeah, next season we're gonna start with the under 21s playing in the Champions League, bro. Oh dear. Yeah. No, I mean if it was a Conference League, right, I wouldn't mind. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. If it was Conference League, I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, no, he's 16.
Oh God, Mikey Moore 16 is too far away.
16, yeah.
Yeah, too far away.
Born in South London. Good.
Yeah.
Anyway, just one thing about transfer rumours out. Apparently, Millwall are very interested in buying Tanganga. He's he's there on loan at the moment. I think he's scored 2 goals in the last 3 games.
Wow.
And, he's doing really well. So
that's good for him.
Suits his style of play down there. A bit more scrappy, a bit more fast paced, a bit more
physical.
No. Simon, just say less technical.
Yeah, no, it is. Yeah, they tend not to think about horseshoe or anything like that. They tend to think about.
They think about smash and grab, right? Smash and grab.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to miss that one out because I think my missus is going to be back soon.
All right.
So, today, Spurs women versus Bristol City women. Simon, I will hand this over to you.
Yeah, so there's today's game, 2:00 kickoff. It's at Bristol City.
That's a Bristol City?
Bristol
Oh,
City.
Bristol.
Yeah.
Bristol. That's what they say.
Bristol.
They call it Bristol. That's the way they are.
Oh, okay. All right. Bristol City. I was like, what?
We are.
Oh, yeah. Is it somewhere between Amsterdam and
No, my parents live down near Bristol, and everybody down there calls it Brizzle.
Bristol? Okay.
Yeah, that's
All right.
We're 2:00 kickoff. 2:00 kickoff today. It's going to be an interesting game because we've come off the back of a couple of improved results. Yeah, 1-0 win and stuff like that. And Bristol City are bottom of the league and just really suffering at the minute. So it should be an easy win, but obviously it's at their place. So, and we need the points.
We're playing away.
We're in this weird kind of no women's zone at the minute where no women's zone, where it's like there's 3 points between us. We're in 6th place in the league, so with 3 points between us and the next team below us. And then we've got 5 points. Well, no, I think 6 points between us and then Man United above. So, and then we're literally on the cusp of going. If we put probably 3 or 4 wins together, we're in, Champions League places. Which, when you consider we should have got relegated last season.
That's true.
And if it wasn't for Beth England, then we would have.
Yeah. But Simon, can I ask a question, right? If we do get to the final and actually win the FA Cup, right, will we, as in the women's team, right, automatically qualify for some trophy in Europe?
Sorry, say that again. It broke up a bit there. Say that again.
No, I'm saying if we do get to win the women's FA Cup, right, do we automatically qualify for some cup in Europe? Do they have the Europa League or do we go straight in the Champions League or something?
It's a good question. I don't really know because there's so much missing from the Women's Premier League as opposed to the Men's Premier League. Like they don't have VAR, for example. That's this kind of thing. So it's a lot of basics that have been in place a long time for the men that should be there for the women, but aren't. And I think it's a fluid thing with the FA at the minute because let's not forget, women's football was massively, massively popular just under 100 years ago, and tens and thousands of people would watch their games. And then the fat old white men at the FA decided that they were threatened by that. Yeah. So they said they couldn't play at any registered grounds or anything. So they basically put an end to it. So the FA are making up all the time. They're making up for that, and quite rightly. So that will probably change before this time next season in terms of that, or whether they can, whether they can't. And it's the thing. It's basically with Spurs women, you've got to concentrate on literally on the next game, because I'm not a big fan of the manager. I'll be honest with you. I think the players that we've got, we should be at least 4 places up higher than what we are, and he's not utilising them very well. There's players that are improving of their own selves, because they're getting more regular time, like players like Naz, for example. We've got incredible player, probably one of the best players in the league in terms of Bizet. She's just phenomenal, and he'll sub her in the 60th minute and stuff like that. And it's like, what are you doing? That guy. So we've had mixed bag of results. They're saying Beth England has been, pushed aside in terms of other improving centre forwards and everything. So it should be a good game. Basically, what we want when it comes to this end of the season is the whole goal difference thing. So you want to get goals in the bank for if it comes to that situation where it's level on points, and this is the ideal time to do it. It's the ideal time to bag a 3 or 4-0 win, even though it is away. Because Bristol City are dead and buried at the bottom there, so we should be closing that gap towards the Champions League. So should be good. 2:00 kickoff. It's on the FA player. If you look on the Football Association website, the FA website.
It's got play. Do you know?
No. We'll be on the FA player. So just if you want to watch it, I recommend it. It's on the FA page, just register with an email address and a password. It's a
Great
it's a
support from
decent.
Daniel Levy.
Yeah, exactly. The FA Play is a decent streaming thing.
Okay.
It's not the best, it's not the worst, but
Can I get that in the Netherlands?
should be able to. Yeah, should be able to. It literally changes for each game. Some games they show, and some games they don't. Then the website's a little bit complicated to figure out, but then you know if you go on the live one, it's not there. But if you go on the fixtures, you're able to click through and watch it. Even though on the live, it's like
Sounds like the Spurs website. Yeah.
Yeah. If anything, the FA player.
Simon, wait. It's free, right?
And everything.
No,
it's so
it
comes up as a whole.
No, is it free?
Yeah.
That's fine. Yeah, now we know. But you don't get it on. Yeah. But let's see how it goes.
So quickly, I'd like to wrap this show up in a minute because I think I might have already said that. Just going to do a preview of Tottenham versus Luton. Predicted lineup: Mario, Porro, Romero, VDV, Udogi, Saar, Basuma, Werner, Maddison, Johnson, and Son. What do we think of that, and what do we think the result's going to be?
I think that lineup's about right. I think especially with Werner, he's improving, isn't he? He's really settling in and improving. He's made noises this week about wanting to be here permanently, which is great. I think it's his time to shine. I think when you look at where Luton are vulnerable, it's ideal for him, I think. VDV should be back by then, shouldn't he? Yeah. Should be back by then. Not sure about Saar. I think I'd like to see Saar out so that we can make 100% sure we've got his back injury sorted. Basuma's 50-50 in it. And again, I'm always a fan at the minute until he proves otherwise. I'm always a fan of Johnson coming on as a sub. I'd rather have Kulu in there. Kulu has shown that he can produce stuff when he starts rather than as a sub. So I'd like to swap them around. But yeah, apart from that, it looks good. I think we should smash that, shouldn't we? I think we'll be looking now. Obviously, the good thing about having Son as the captain, again, like we were saying earlier, Eugene, I don't think you're here, but it's a great thing that he's vocal when he says things that are different to normal professional footballers. Like after the Fulham game, we were crap, basically, and just not good enough. And he included himself in that. So I think pre-match to that, he's going to be proper, getting the players up and going now. Should be good.
Yeah, I hope it will be good, right? Because I think Son will be coming back from South Korea. Hopefully that doesn't take too much on his body, right? But the thing is that as I see the lineup should be more or less like that, unless there's a slight switch between Bissouma, Saar, maybe Bentancur comes in. I mean, let's see how that goes. I do expect Spurs to go and smash Luton at home, right? But my biggest fear at the moment now is because after the Nottingham Forest points deduction, right? Luton somehow or another, they're above a relegation. So I guess they'll goddamn try their best not to lose, right? They might come up with a plan of actually low blocking us, right? And try to get the point, Hey, big up to Johnny. Hey, what does Johnny say?
That's a good point, actually.
Dropping the Swede, yeah.
That's a good point, actually. Have you done it just because of that? That's a good point.
Yeah. Big up, Johnny, long time.
I can't say I have. I'll be interested to see this attacking midfield three. I don't think Kulusevski has performed particularly well recently. I still think he's got a lot of talent. I still think he's a great player, even though he is a turnip.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is a good point. I don't know if you were watching earlier on, Johnny. I said I'd like to see him more as an attacking central midfielder.
Yeah, no winger.
Yeah, he's being found. He doesn't have the pace for a winger.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think. A lot of people would disagree with me because the first season that he was here, or Was it the first season or was it? I can't remember.
The first half season that he joined us after the January transfer window. Yeah, when Conte was in charge. Yeah, he took. Yeah. And to tell the truth, right? When I was during that period of time when Conte was in charge, right, I saw a very intelligent Decky playing ball, right? And somehow or another, that Decky has like gone missing, right? And that time when he was playing more like a false 10 or something like that, right? He used to like turn up in spaces, know where the ball is and all that, and do that proper cutting edge kind of pass. But nowadays, I just see him run down the left and then run into his player, try to get the ball back on his left foot, loses it, and he goes and it just horseshoe football again.
Yeah,
I think he's confused. I think he doesn't know what's expected of him. It's either one of two things, isn't it? He either takes the ball on himself, runs where it goes to the byline, tries to beat 2 or 3 players, and then cross it in, or obviously cut in and left foot curler shot. Or he's got to be one of the linked, like where we counter attack, or where even when we build up. As part of the amazing passing, system that sets up for the chance.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't think in the moment. I don't think he knows which one to do. And the minute he's trying, you can see him when he gets the ball and he's got 2 players around him, because that's a good thing. That's been proven recently. He attracts players towards him. It frees up other players. But at the same time, you can see him like, right, am I going that down to the byline here to force a goal, or are we still building up? I don't know. It seems to be a weird confusion. Johnny said he's more in the Ginola Waddle pace range than Bale. Yeah, it's a good point. Back in the Ginola or the Waddle, going back even further to the Waddle days, you didn't mind that he wasn't the fastest player in the world because you knew he could make something happen. But again, that depends on the other players around him linking up. And in terms of that, he's got no excuse. He's got Maddison will be there. Yeah, Maddison will be there if he's playing. Even Sarr and whoever else, he's got players that he can use. It just depends which decision he goes with. Which way he wants to play, which way he wants to play, literally.
That's true. Yeah. But guys, score predictions.
Okay, prediction.
I think
you were very quick off the mark there. Yeah. So, what do we reckon?
I think I'm going to go 4-0.
I wanted to say that too, but okay, I'll pull back.
And I'm going to say Mr. Perfection is going to score.
Oh, yeah. Your favorite player.
And I think Son, actually, I'm not going to predict scorers, because that's the thing I love about our team, is that you just can't predict who's going to score. It could be Romero, it could be Porro, it could be Maddison, it could be Johnson. Well, not sure about Johnson.
It could be Timo Werner.
Yeah. But Werner, I think it's going to be one of Werner's best games. I think he's going to grab it with scruff of the neck. Kulu should actually grab it by the scruff of the neck as well. This is what he should do. He should be like, right, I want to cement my place. My place is in doubt. I want to put in a real good performance. But again, that depends if he starts or whatever. So,
okay, so 4-0.
4-0.
I'll be a bit more conservative on this. I think it will be a 2-0 game, right? Because the players are all coming back from international duty, right? So let's hope we just put up a good performance, right? And keep a clean sheet and get back on the scoring. We need to get back to our scoring ways, right? I don't want to be, going on the score. I mean, hopefully it won't turn into a goal drought kind of thing. But hopefully, with Son back, right? And like you said, maybe Werner will put in a shift, right? And Decky will show us something, something special. And especially now with Johnson scoring on international duty, and if the Wales boys actually get into Europe, I think they'll come back on a high, and that will transcend into our game. So 2-0, easy 2-0 game. No toughness in there, right? Okay. But I still have some kind of doubts in the back of my mind, because I'm saying Luton has now climbed out of the relegation spot. So, they might just low block us all the way. That's what I fear.
Yeah, you never know. Yeah.
Jens,
Very true.
before you do it, Jens, I'm going to predict your prediction. Jens is going to predict a 1-0 defeat for Spurs. See it coming.
I was actually going to say I think we're going to beat the British goal scoring record, which was in 19 something or other. Arbroath versus Bonaccord, 32-0, I believe it was. So I'm going to go for 33-0.
Ask Johnny. Johnny, what's Johnny's prediction?
A double hat trick from Vicario, and I reckon that Ange will get up there and score one as well.
Ball boy.
On a more serious note, it's going to be 40-0. No problem.
Okay.
Hey, full house.
I reckon. No, I reckon. I reckon it will be 2-1. Because it always seems so much like we struggle against these lower teams, and as Eugene
To be
just
sure,
said,
are we 100% sure Mickey's going to be back?
well, I read something on Football London, Ali Gold, always a pleasure, never a chore, who said that he should be back for the game. So,
Yeah, that's what Ange said. So
Wednesday.
yeah, we'll know next week. We'll know next week. Yeah.
yes, definitely. Okay, so finally wrapping up. Any other business and any plugs? Simon, what do you say?
No plugs or anything, I don't think. I won't be watching the game next Saturday because we're in the one-day festival season in Teesside, massive Teesside music scene thriving at the minute.
Nice.
So we got one day called Stockton Calling. So that's an all-dayer, so I'll be at that. And I'll be trying purposely not to check my phone and find out, even though I'm going around 9 different venues where there's obviously a massive risk that I'll find out the
You're
result.
going to say, there's that fucking Cockney, get him!
Yeah.
Now, Simon, you're going to a rave?
Say again?
Are you going to a rave?
No, it's a music festival. So we've got loads of
It's a rave.
playing.
That's a rave. No. Yeah. And music festival.
Early start, late finish, and then I shall wake up without like a spring chicken on the Sunday morning and watch Match of the Day.
Good morning.
More likely, I'm going to be like a girl out of the ring calling out the telly, just like, oh god.
Yeah. Why do I do this to myself all the time, right? That would be the question.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Eugene,
Right,
any plugs? Any other business?
I don't think there's any other business going on at the moment, right? Since it's the international break.
Yeah.
Plus is that most probably I'll be doing a preview show closer to end of next week before the Luton game. So let's see how that goes. I'll send out the links and all that if any of you guys want to hop on. But my shows are usually about noon time, your time, right?
I'm unemployed. Yeah. I should be able to join.
Oh, you're free at last.
Hey, I've got a week off as well, so I'll join in.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, all right. Yes, thanks. I'll send you guys the link, right? It'll be a Thursday and Friday thing. Let's see how that goes. I'll let you guys know, right? Nice. And that'll be on Spurs Region TV. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. I suppose I could be persuaded to join.
Yeah.
In that case, I'd like to wish everybody a. Is it still Sunday in Malaysia?
Yeah, it's still Sunday here. It's about 8:35 p.m. Okay. Right? Yeah.
So
8:35 p.m.
I'd like to wish everybody a very nice Sunday.
Thank you.
Come on, you Spurs.
And as always, Levy out.
Levy out. Hello. Yep.